A lot of people have asked me about trying to find a taller raised bed that you don't have to bend over and to work on. And I found a giant one at Vevor, and this is going to be a video showing you, what it takes to put it together and what I think of it. And first of all, it comes pretty big bed, and it comes in that little tiny about 2-foot square box set. It's quite heavy, but you can see everything is really packaged well in there. Like everything that they sell, they package everything. They give you this little set of gardening tools that I have no idea who could use them. Even too little for my granddaughter, I think. And all the pieces here are all packaged. There's also a pair of gloves in there that you probably should wear to assemble this thing, but there are some sharp edges and stuff. And the scariest part is there's 3 bags of screws and nuts in there. Oh boy, there's going to be a lot of screwing to get this thing together. But anyhow, it's just about a little bit under 4 foot by 8 foot by 2 feet tall. So it's the biggest one I could find, and pretty amazing how they got it all in this little tiny box here. And the main part of it, the main part of it are these panels. Awful lot of little panels here, and they're really not that heavy as steel, so we'll see what it looks like when we get it together. But there they are. So that's it. That's, pretty much what this is. And the next 3 hours of my life I'm going to spend screwing this thing together. And there you can see there's 2 different size panels. End panels are the 14s, and the long side panels are the 16s. Then there's these really cheap crossbars. They should have done something better. I'll show you later, but I don't like them at all. And then the corners. Now, to protect it, as most stuff you buy from China, it comes with this plastic sheeting that's been applied to the finished surface that's out. And that does take quite a while to get off. It's kind of a pain, but it does, keep the paint from getting scratched up during shipping. Once you start putting it together, there will be some scratches in it, though. It's a very thin coat of, I don't know what it is, paint, but it does scratch easily. And it came with a couple bags of some screws there and some thumb nuts, which I really don't like them on the inside. They're like a big thing sticking into the raised bed, and they're really hard on your fingers. I'll show you in a little while, but so there's quite, I didn't count the exact number of screws in this thing, but there's a lot. That's all I can say. There's 3 hours worth for me. Well, I'm old and slow, so it may have taken me a little longer, but as you can see, each joint there has I'm putting the 2 ends together with the shorter panels first, and you can see each joint has an awful lot of screws in it. And then I'm going to put the corners on too. Figure this will be easiest for me. There are good instructions with it that you should look at and read, unlike me, but I did get it together in the end. So again, there you can see just how many screws. It's a very thin, lightweight metal, and that's why they added so many screws to it, I think, just to keep it so it's structurally strong enough to fill with dirt when you're done. Definitely a lot of assembly. Sure would have been nice if they had made these panels like double the size and eliminate this one joint on each one, and 1 panel on each end and 2 on the long side. It would have been a much better assembly, easier to assemble, and probably stronger in the end. But there's one end of it. Look at my finger from those thumb screws. My 2 fingers there are they're hurting like crazy from trying to tighten those things. And I start peeling the plastic off the next one. I don't know if you could leave that on or not, but I decided it's got to come off so it doesn't get nasty later. So I got the 2 end panels done. Now I'm going to start assembling the sides on there, the long sides, and these are 4 pieces each that have to go together with a lot of screws. And it's nap time. Gotta take a break here. Tired of screwing around. All right, let's get going again. So again, it's just, it's just time consuming assembling this. And these things here, at first I tried assembling those 2 supports without the instructions. You can see I screwed them together wrong. I'll show you later how they should be screwed together, but they are very flimsy. All right, so there's the one end, and here's the other end, and now I'm going to put the panels in between there. And again, as you put these together, you have to leave out the second screw down and the actual bottom screw, so you can put those cross braces in later. And they definitely are a joke. They should have done something like those other Northern Tool ones where they put like nice round rods in there that didn't have sharp edges and were stiff and, easy to put in place. These things are just thin pieces of galvanized metal that are sharp edges, and they're definitely going to rust away, I think, over time. So get the, it's just like I said, it's just, a lot of screws in this thing, a lot of small panels. And there's how I put these 2 pieces together, the cross supports, and it turned out you got to bend down the end on them when I looked at the instructions, and then you screw them together like that, which really didn't make much of a difference in the end, but I figured I'd do it right, show you the right way to do it. And these are what keep the whole bed from spreading out and buckling over time. So I feel they could have done a better job with these. And then they go, the top ones go in, the second screw down. And it probably would help to have another person when you're doing this, but this is basically how you do it. And there you can see the 2 of them. There's some sharp edges there and stuff, and they don't stay straight until you put a tension on them with a load. Now I did find a screwdriver bit in my Milwaukee set to fit these screws finally, so I'm going to just go back here and tighten everything up good now, because those thumb screws really I couldn't get them tight with that, but I got them started. And then I decided to stand it up on end and try to get the rest of the bottom supports in. And again, you just gotta, kind of go back, and I went back and just tightened everything up just to make sure, it was tight as it could get. And here's the bottom support. And you can see kind of how those panels go together and stuff, and nothing really sits straight or flat until you fill it up with dirt. And I will tell you that I needed 4 screws to finish it, and there they are. So there were 0 extra screws, so whatever you do, you don't want to lose one if you assemble this. And there it is. Everything's all together. This was about 3 hours later, so it just takes time. And then there's a plastic strip that goes on top, and there's these overlapping sharp edges here that you have to kind of squeeze together and work the plastic over there to pull them together, so it kind of hides that edge there, so you won't get caught on it later. This would have been really a nice bed if they had made those, and like 6 pieces gone together, but I just it doesn't really impress me the way it's made. And then I decided to I was going to put it down by the garden, but I decided I'm just going to put this up here and see how it stands up. And actually I'm going to start filling it with that compost that was like all the dead stuff from last year, and the leftover gourds and all the junk from the root cellar that went bad. And so I'm just going to fill this up, and you would need several tons of compost to fill this with if you did fill it. So I'm going to start just using all the old garden stuff and basically use it as a compost pile until I put dirt on top of it. But I'll finish cleaning up the garden and everything else, and then I'll put some dirt on, and it'll settle over the years. But the one thing is, the more dirt you put in there and the more stuff you put in there, it does start stiffening up some, and everything starts pulling straight. So, in the end, once it kind of tightens up, the straps all pull straight and stuff. So, I guess if you're not going to fill it with dirt, you're going to put other stuff in there, maybe a couple bales of hay or something to help it out. It should be strong enough, but I wouldn't just go filling this thing with dirt to the top right off. Just no support in the middle, and I'm not sure how it'll last, but we will see over time. And look at all those worms that were in my pile there in the garden. I just can't believe the amount of worms this year. So there it is, all put together, sitting in place, starting to look a little straighter and stuff. But I just wanted to show you this is an option for a taller raised bed if you think it's something that would work for you. And oh yeah, the yard's still muddy. I found out I can't go down that way, but and I wanted to show you, this is a stone that I laser engraved last year. I can't believe how well that's standing up. So anyhow, I'll put a link down in the description to this, if you have any interest in it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.